Okay, I am back. I hope you can hear me. I hope that you care. I hope it matters. Okay. I'm pretty sure I fixed what I needed to. So, if anybody's out there, you can chat me, tell me that you're here. Sorry about that big mess, but you know, some of these things happen. Yep, we're back. Tell everybody to come back. That's about the biggest crowd I ever had, and I blew it, right? Jeez. What a wonderful thing to do. Sometimes when you have a lot of stuff hooked up to the internet, to the Oracle, you have to diagnose what's actually wrong. So I'll give everybody a minute to come in. And I guess what I'll do is put this up, because this is what we're going to look at. Pop up the chat. Skull's back. Thanks for coming back. And I suppose you can hear me pretty well. Oh, what happened to my... Oops. Supercragifragilistic, thanks for coming back. Yes, the audio is good. I know I fixed it. I was saying, okay, let's...
Where did it all begin? Why are we here? Who are we? Where do we come
I
from?
know you can
What
hear
does it
that,
all mean?
because I fixed it.
Howdy, folks. Mysteries of the realm here. Taking you on another little walk with me. In this dreary day.
Yep, the audio's good.
Anybody tell you that it's always sunny in California, because it's not true. I'll try to do a little bit of recording this time. Last time I was recording like this, but that's only because the microphone's in front of the camera. You know, this isn't a phone. I'm actually using a camera because you know, obviously the phone's not as sophisticated as this piece of equipment. And of course that lends to other problems like me having to shout. I might not have to, I really don't know. But this is the road we're walking down. This is the road we came from. You know, it's funny because the traffic, and I wonder if people can hear me and stuff. And people on videos always wonder if the fan's being picked up, or boiling water's being picked up, or the neighbor's construction can get picked up. And you know, the truth is it never is. You ever notice that whenever I go to do a video, I don't really check background noise, because for background noise to be picked up, it can be seen on the meter, you know, but that doesn't mean it comes across.
Yeah, a lot of creators are always worried about their background noise and stuff. So I just decided to. Do you ever notice you're thinking, what's this guy talking about? I don't hear anything in the background. He's making it sound like it's a big loud thing. I have a microphone on right now while you're watching this, and you don't hear any background noise, because background noise, like with a VU meter, if you go below 20, and on a peak meter, if you stay below somewhere like, 55, 50, those background noises won't get picked up. Anyway, that's just some audio engineering insights for you. Back to the video.
Over the microphone too well. It's just the dynamics of sound, really.
You never been, what? Skull. Sadly. Yeah, one of the things about the microphone is, right, if you're picking up background noise, there's a meter on everything, right? So when you look at your meter and you see the background noise, see where it is. Turn your mic or your amp, the device that's working the mic, turn it down till it only has like one or two blinking lights on the LED, and then that's about where you want the background noise to be, and then you can put the mic as close to your mouth as you want to, and that background noise won't be there. I have my mic almost all the way up because I'm just sitting back watching the video with you guys. You've never been to Cali, Skull? I hear my washing machine and water pump in every video I do. Yeah. And like I said, that there's a way around that. I mean, you might have to do a little experimentation. But anyway, this is not an audio lesson, but I do like people to understand. I do like to help people understand audio dynamics, because it's something that I'm super interested in. I went to school for it and all this blah, blah, blah stuff, fixing components and all that stuff. Anyway, California. I don't know. Since I lived here so long, I don't know if I recommend it. I don't know. I don't know if I recommend anything anymore. Just like I don't know if anything's true. Because maybe I'm just getting old, I wish Meldrum would come back. It was so nice to see that she was here. But anyway, it's my fault. I screwed up pretty bad. I didn't have my ducks in a row. Here we go.
So here, as you can see, we have more of these retaining walls, right? And this is the building with the walls on it. And across the street, we have retaining walls. Pretty large ones, as a matter of fact.
I don't recommend anything to anybody anymore. I don't, oh, man. Life is so messed up nowadays.
And I actually like this house. And look at this. New West Reset did a video on all the retaining walls in a neighborhood that he was in Alberta. And these are, I guess they're called cute houses, right? Old. I don't know if they're old world or what you'd call them, but you know, I'm sure a long time ago,
When I first came out here, SG and I called these Russian fairy tale houses, because that's kind of what they remind me of. I don't know where those chimneys came from, though.
look at this chimney. I'm sure a long time ago, these houses
Yeah, Skull, I agree.
These houses were part of
Look at this
you know,
chimney on the right.
Because there's a studio,
did you see it?
obviously, right
With
on
the
that
two?
corner. And I mean, you know, I don't know. I'm talking about many years ago, right? So more retaining walls here, and another one here. There's another one of these. And I think those old houses were part of the studio tour.
Skull, we need heat out here. The major issue with California is that, you know, where a lot of stuff's cheaply made out here, first of all. And second of all, because people don't believe it gets cold, we have awful drafts in everywhere. Just everybody's house. It's like a, there's drafts everywhere. And especially in the winter, because we do have winter, it gets down to 40, 38, you know. If the sun doesn't face your house, it's cold in the house. So we use heat out here, you know. I think just like me, people are under a little, you know, they hear a lot about Cali, but they don't hear certain things like you need heat, plain and simple. The way my place is, yeah, California dreaming. That literally sums it up. You know, if the sun, like I said, in the winter time, this time of year, the sun doesn't hit the place I live. It's freaking cold in here. How you guys liking the videos? Am I making sense? I'm about to tell a little story here about the history of California, but I want you to realize that I'm leaving out a huge stretch of time, right? I'm just trying to give a quick explanation of it.
Because they're so cool and unique. But I'm talking about, you know, the 40s, maybe the 50s, before there was so many residents here. It's like this area here used to be predominantly tourists. But little by little, it sort of washed up, you know. When I first moved out here, it was still very touristy and very busy, and people walking around taking taking pictures of all kinds of things and everything. But once the C-19 came, the tourism around here really stopped. Basically stopped short, and it hasn't come back. We don't have the kind of foot traffic that we used to have. Now it's mostly locals who live around here, and of course they're not that interested in the studios and all that. They all work there, you know, so it's not that big of a deal for them. And if I haven't mentioned it, we're on a trek to see a building that this is supposed to be a smart house. They put it up a few years ago.
Is that better?
This is not a retaining wall. This is just a giant fence to keep us out. But here's this building here that's gone through quite a few renovations in its time, ever since I've been here. And again, we have this peculiar, first of all, we look at these stairways that are sort of round, and the same excuse me, same windows as the church, right? Now, of course, I could wonder, right, is this building, was this the other end of the church long ago, right? We don't know how much has been torn down, right? But again, we got the curves, and then we got the curve of the street, right? We got the curve of the sidewalk, and we also have the curve of this building. Now, what about those windows? What do you think? This building is curved. It looks maybe like they took something out of here, or something was always in there. But again, it follows the curve of the sidewalk, and it follows this curve here, right? So when we go across the street, large, slim windows. Then we have this here, again with a curve, again with a curve. And you can tell that it's just sort of poured over, if you will. Is that a good word? Poured over. Big hole. Right? Interesting. That's all I want to say, really. Another curved surface for us to look at. Lots of technology back here. And when we go across the street, now, you know, I'm not saying it was attached to the, I'm not saying it was attached to the, to the church, but, you know, what do I know, right? This tech up here. Now, as you can see, right, there is something hiding down there. I'm not gonna say what.
This neighborhood, supposedly, you know, the studios are all here. And I did a bunch of research, but, you know, 1911, 1932, the 40s, you know, these are all high profile years. So take your pick at when this stuff was built, you know. One of the fascinating things about Burbank is that it had a monorail in 1911 by a guy named Fox. Fox. F-A-W. Not fox like an animal. So I hope I answer your question. I mean, this neighborhood has lots of years attached to it, if that makes sense, right? Super. Yeah, many buildings have the craziest stories, and I'm not surprised that every city has crazy story buildings and crazy history, right? Just like this one, like, you know, Skull asks, how old is the neighbor? Who knows, right? As I get into a little bit on the video, that, you know, I look into a lot of these buildings and they pretty much come up with nothing. So who's to say when the place that I lived was literally built in the 70s? I know that. But I do believe that the main building of this building has probably pretty much always been here. I think it's old world. Again, we have a building here that has a complete circle, and then the outside walls are a complete circle. Then they built something inside there that isn't a circle. It's all box buildings. So they take these old round buildings and they make them brutalistic. As we shall continue on this trek that I made. Here we go.
But I don't know, that might just be paint. Can't tell. I can't get in there. Obviously, I can't get in there. They don't want me in there. So we'll see this building from across the street in a moment.
I hope you guys are enjoying this.
Again, I don't know how interesting this stuff is, but these buildings just, you know, they bugged me for a long time. And it's fun to just get out here and do my own thing. Even the wall's curved. Now, of course, somebody, you know, could have built that, obviously, but I'll take a gander through their parking lot here and see if this is rounded. And we can't really see anything on the bottom here that would give us a telltale sign of anything strange. But just the shape of it's kind of strange, because when we go across the street, we're going to see a building that is very similar to it. And if anybody, this is a very popular area. If anybody's watching this from California, you'll know exactly where I am. Not really trying to keep it a secret anyway, but
yeah, super. But I would say on the flip side of that is, just because it resembles old world doesn't mean it is. I mean, that's why I go out there and do this, because I really want to get up close to a lot of stuff, you know, and give it a good check out, give it a good look, see. But a lot of times it's just inconclusive, right? Just like most of this video. That's why, you know, it's mysteries of the realm.
sky's pretty cloudy out there.
But super, I do agree with you, of course, right? I mean, I'm not disagreeing with you at all.
I can just keep the camera running because I can always cut out anything.
I will say one thing about California, though. No matter what type of weather we have in the sky, aside from the chemtrails, of course, but the sky's always awesome in California. The clouds are beautiful. I mean, maybe everywhere in the world, but even when it's overcast like that, the sky's still beautiful. So that's one cool thing about California. It's the sky is always beautiful, rain or shine.
That I don't want around. Look at this building though, huh? This building actually claims, well, we'll see. Hold on. First of all, we're going to take this picture of this building over here. What's on top of this building? Oh my goodness, it's incredible, right? And funny enough, you know how on the old buildings we see iron or wrought iron fences around? Well, this one has something similar. I wouldn't say it's exactly the same, but it's pretty close. It's got a big fence. Now, of course, that could be because people are up there messing with this tech and they don't want to fall off, obviously. And that could have been what it was for back then too. I mean, we don't know what we just don't know what we're looking at from back in the day. You know, how they built things, how they did things. And we just don't know. This building is all curves. And I suspect that the top was taken off it. Certainly seems plausible to me. And of course it's supposed to be, or was at one time,
Yeah, and what have you found, Skull? Oh, boy, that's interesting. That's interesting, Skull. I suppose that's an avenue to explore.
I don't know if it is anymore, but they have this building in back, complete triangle with the dome taken off, right? You can see that? I'm sure you can. The architect didn't say, let's put a square circle up on top of the building. Something else was there. This whole area, man, I'm telling you. We might even grant ourselves a little look over there as well. We'll see what happens, how much goes on over here at this ex-city of Burbank distribution center. Okay, we got the light. There we go. This is a really strange building. This is probably stranger than the church and the old school that I went to. And you know, it's kind of junky, like, if this was important, how come nobody really did anything? Now, obviously there's a little gate here, but there is no trespassing signs around.
Super. What do you mean you lost? And by the way, Skull, thanks for that compliment. That's Very nice indeed of you. Oh, MOTR is Mysteries of the Realm. He lost me with that one time too. I had to ask him. And you know what's really cool about that? Is I love cars, and I didn't even mean to call myself Motor. Skull came up with that. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. Something I would have never... I don't think I ever would have caught on to that.
Look inside these. See if we see anything. I mean, again, we have some... I don't know what's old or what's new in this structure. But it's curved as curved can be. All curvy, all wavy. Right, all curvy, all wavy. These little teeny windows. Now, this place is kind of fascinating, if you ask me. You know, what's the dome for?
Do you guys think this building's fascinating?
I don't know if this place is all closed up. I've never been over here. You're seeing all this as I see it today. And of course, I'm sure that I'm gonna miss saying something about something or other because, again, I haven't really thought about this. Keep out. Hazardous, could cause death. This isn't... I don't think this is used anymore. This has probably been disused for a good while. It's all stone here on the ground, all the way over. Some of the fascia is coming off, but I don't think that's the original fascia anyway. This building certainly is fancy. And I have to find out when it was built. But I have looked into a few things around here about these buildings. And they come up, you know, nothing. They come up with pretty much nothing. But of course, oh, I didn't even know this was here. Let's give this a little look. These people.
And this is what I mean. You'd think that a building that gave service to Burbank would have, you know, lots of history, lots of pictures, lots of these people talking about it, construction, you know, oh, we're going to build new energy distribution center. Let's make a thing out of it, cut a ribbon, all that stuff. Nothing. This is the stuff that's bizarre. And this is why we do these things. This is why more mystery than history. I guess I'll sum it up with that. Thank you, Skull. That's perfect. Hey, I'm just going to continue the video because that's a... Where's the ribbon cutting ceremony? Where's all the champagne? Where's the... Oh, when we, flick this switch, watch this power come on to these buildings that never had it, and watch us direct our energy over here where it wasn't. Aren't these, like, as someone who fixes machines, you get excited about these things and you want to show people, like when I build go-karts, I want to show people, right? When I used to fix laser CD players. You're proud of stuff. I don't understand why these old worlders aren't proud of stuff.
Aren't even around anymore. I wouldn't know. I didn't even read what it said, but I know that there's some people's names on there. So it's, you know, in my opinion, it's a very interesting shaped building. I suspect that they cut the corners off this long ago, right? Long ago, and made it look more brutalistic and brutalistic and, you know, sharp corners, because I'm standing on the highway, so I have to be really careful. There is, it does go around, the building goes around in a circle as it continues that way. I'll run over here real quick. See? It's the building, and then it goes around in a circle with, I don't know if that's, I wish I could go over there, because there's something exposed right here. Again, I'm in a really, really super dangerous spot, so I'm gonna get the hell out of here. Taking pictures of this stuff isn't worth getting killed. And the way Californians drive, boy, let me tell you, this shit ain't nothing to mess around with. So, I'll walk around this way, come up here, give a little look around. Round, right? This is what I'm saying. Did this building look more like this? Or maybe not. Maybe this is all modern, right? All this corner stuff. And this down here is remnants of the old. Again, we have that banding, and then they just kind of continued it. Or again, they knocked off most of the curves and made them square and brutalistic. Here's a good shot of that building from here. Look at all that tech on top. I mean, and I can call it tech because I know it's tech. That's all. Who knows what that is? Microwaves. Again, the church doesn't have a bunch of stuff, but this building has lots and lots of frequency waves to and fro, right? And these look like church windows, do they not? I mean, I don't know. That church could have been huge, like, you know, again, like some of these places we see 9 blocks long, right? Possibly. I don't know anything. I'm just being a detective, you know? Being an old world detective. Could change my channel to Old World Detective. Or make a new channel, because I don't want to lose Mysteries of the Realm. That's awesome. Aha. This thing has been out of commission for a long time. I don't know if you can see in there. I can't be climbing on this gate, but
Yeah, super. You should see some of the churches around here. It doesn't even make sense. But maybe it does, because there's got to be some kind of energy source coming out of the churches that still work, you know? Even if they don't have their old world tech in them, or the water still flowing through them, whatever they were for, you know, but they certainly do love to throw frequencies all over them, don't they? Weather mod tech? Possibly. Tell you, Skull, you always make me think.
Man, if we could get in there, we could get some answers. But I think the answer is that this was a canal, and that was an energy. Just my speculation, right? There was a canal here. Can't see too much through the gate, but there's the other side of that curve, right? This was a canal, and that was an energy building, and that building over there helped it. And that's why they don't need that anymore, because the canal is long gone, and it doesn't help produce energy at that station anymore. And that's just my thoughts on it.
I'd like to also say about that is the Dobie building is quite close to both of those buildings as far as curb-wise, and so they all may have helped. The other thing about this is, I don't want you to get the wrong idea. The road that's running parallel or up against that, the distribution, energy distribution, that's brand new. So I'm not saying that that's a canal. I don't even know if the water was flowing through the city the way, well, we're going to get to it. You'll see what I mean. The way the highway is. I'm not sure that the highway were ever canals. They may have been. But anyway, we're going to continue. I didn't explain that in the video, and I know some people are going to say, that idiot thinks there's canals up against the building. No, I don't. I was here when they built that highway, so just to clarify. I can use my brain for logic, you know? I can.
Probably gotta... I was climbing on that fence. Cops won't like that. I don't want this video to turn into a police audit, you know? So super triangle, super duper. This is the building with that little dome on it, and another funny looking building. I mean, yeah, I know, but they build these stuff all the time and stuff. No, sorry, you can say whatever you want, but they do not make. Our society does not build flat iron buildings. And that's what this is. This is just a sort of, I would say a repurposed one, because I think it looked miraculously different than it does right now. But it is a flat iron building. And, of course, yeah, oh, gee. The curve of the land follows the curve of the building. Oh, yes. That's how they do it. Even this building, as we can see, there's a curve here, right? And then guess what? Oh, yep, the sidewalk is curved just like that part of the building. I know, I'm being sarcastic, but another strangely, right next to that, right? Another strangely triangle building. And you could say, oh, but buildings are are squares, so it looks like, no, that's a triangle. That is not a square. And here's your flat iron. That's a flat iron building with a that's a flat iron building. What do you think of that? Times Square, is it? New York, only it's not a whole lot higher. But you know, and again, some bizarre, you know, what do I know? Did the architects really build this whole place? Look the way this building jets out. 1 triangle, 2 triangle, 3 triangle, 4 triangle, too many to count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's bizarre, right? If you've never been, I know you probably, if you've never been to California, maybe you didn't know that this kind of stuff, you know, is right in the middle of a city to make us wonder. Look at the grade on this. This is this building, right? And look at what could possibly be off. We get to go downstairs first. Yeah, well, they're gonna take video of me while I take video of them. They're always watching. You know, we live in a Scream of a Vengeance album by Judas Priest. If you ever heard that record, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They were talking about that a long, long time ago, decades ago, and here we are. This is where, look at this wall, look at this retaining wall. Look at this, look at the mound. What would you say is under this incredibly shaped building? Oh, well, no surprise, right? Same shape. Here's the sidewalk. Go around. Huge grate. Huge grate. Look at that. We can't. Getting a little something. I don't think that's original block work either. It's either facaded or new blocks put down there, or I don't know, but that's really, really deep. I don't know if you can see it. Really deep. It's probably, look at this. This wall, again, let me just hold, what does that mean? That wall, whether it looks like it or not, the wall's almost up to my hip, and the grass is over my head. It's taller than me. And of course we have downstairs to it, which is, you know, of course there's parking lots downstairs, but I think we have parking lots downstairs because it was easy to do that. Because it was all they had to do was dig it out. Now here's that building, and you might think, well, it's just a square, but it's not a square. It's pointed. It's pointed right to the curb. When we make brutalistic buildings that are square, we don't line them up with the corner. We just don't do it. And it's a very strange building. Strangely positioned. You can say, well, it's Warner Brothers and they would do all kinds of crazy stuff. But do you really think so? Because I don't know about that. My contention would be the architects didn't say, you know what we need? We need a giant this. Did they build, did it, come on. It's not, too much of it doesn't make any sense. Has it been re-facaded and parts knocked off and original fascias chipped away, and who knows what kind of condition it was in when they found it. See, they don't want you here. You can't walk here. This looks like that looks like you can't walk on that. You'll fall through. I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about these. This isn't grass. This is like tall bush. Like this. Under there, you can't walk in there. I don't know. I think it's interesting. Again, did the architects like, oh, we need this big thing right here? Yeah, because no, I think this is all where the water flowed for cooling ponds and heating and air conditioning, and well, they probably use wind for air conditioning. But look at the angle on this. It doesn't seem as sharp in the camera. That's interesting. This thing's coming right at me. Yeah. Anyway, cool, right? And you're gonna get another shot of it over here. Just show you how weird it is, how kind of strange looking. Maybe this is good enough. It's like stepped and kind of strange. I don't know. Like I said, is it old world? I don't know. I say one thing, I'm sure I contradict myself on another and all this stuff. This is modern. I've seen this go up. But again, this is brutalism. And they're certainly not designed in the same fashion as this building that we're looking at. Even that one's not, you know, this last building, it's not that crazy. But it's plotted funny, right? Does that make sense? It's plotted. It's plotted, you know, with its corners facing the street, which I don't think we see much of that in this world. Maybe we saw it a lot in the old world, but I don't know if this is a throughway or what, where I'm going right now. Look at the clouds on the mountains. It's cool. I'll say one thing. See, in this building, it has like strange openings on it too. Well, strange, I don't know. Building feels a little off with the way it's, like I say, the way it's plotted. Plotting, I mean position. You know, we have giant arches here. Right. I don't know about this building at all. I never really even give it a second glance, but we do have all this. Oh, some tech down there. means maybe nothing, of course, you know. But again, these buildings could all, you know, the repurposing. And of course we have a power station right in the middle of all these buildings, which, again, is that suspect or not, you know? A lot of people would say no. Of course they would. The architect said, let's do this. Prop this manhole cover up sideways. I don't think so. I don't think so. Very nice though. Uh-oh, what do you have here? Oh. Giant arches. Interesting. Didn't know about it. Yep. We have a really weird symmetrical shaped buildings in the area. Obviously this place is a giant retaining wall, right? I mean, it's literally a giant retaining wall. This place gets worked on all the time. So I wonder if they have problems with the underground. Yeah, I don't know. But I am gonna show you maybe one last thing before I leave here. Go back home. Again, I'm not 100%.
I don't know if you noticed, but everywhere there's a staircase going up, there's an elevator in the sidewalk or a trap door. Now, I know I've mentioned it in other videos, but you know, I can't get over how many access ways through the streets and through the parks, through the sidewalks. You know, we have, in my opinion, a lot going on underneath. Well, again, I think we all kind of have a feeling that there was a lot of transportation underneath everybody's city, all cities. I think we all believe that we're living on top of buildings. And not to go off on a thing there, but you know, there was underground transportation, and there was bridges connecting buildings by trains and monorails and balloons and just overpasses in general. Yeah, Skull, I'll tell you what, the strangeness of our vegetation out here is pretty wild. I could do a whole thing on that, but I'm not really that into that subject, so I don't really, but you're absolutely right. Yeah, our vegetation is kind of ridiculous. I talk about it a little bit, though. Oh, another curved wall. Oh, shimmy timbers. Gee, look at that. When I least expected it. And it follows the curve of the street. This street. Sidewalk. Which again, could just be a platform. I don't know, they're the same color. Blah, blah, blah. Across here.
round. These buildings again. That's just taken from another angle. And one of the other things that I'll show is first, not that this is, you know, a big thing or anything, but there is a giant hole here. And this land was covered by buildings at one time. And of course, knowing, you know, sort of about the old world and stuff, what could this hole have been actually been? You know, is this the apparatus that kept the building heated, or maybe, you know, the electrical system was in there, or it had water flowing through, which I believe this whole area had water flowing through it. And that's why these buildings are so strange. They're just not using the water. They're just not using the water for that kind of thing anymore. That's my big thing. That's like why I'm out here. I think this was all water technology. Dams, canals, water running through the whole city in many different ways, not just those paths that I showed you on Google, but, you know, little streams and rivers and this kind of thing, right? Man-made, of course, to fortify all these lands, because I'd put money on it that California was tropical. Yeah, I don't think it was dry. I think the inheritors made sure it was dry. You know, the movie Chinatown, if you never saw it, you know, check it out. Jack Nicholson. And I'm gonna take you over here for a moment, because I'm gonna show you why my theory, how my theory about all these buildings, and that's why I came out here, was born out, basically. The reason that this came to my attention is that this, I don't think that this, we're gonna go on Google Maps, but I don't think this area, see again, I don't think this area was cement. I think it was water flowing right through across the street to what? Those buildings over there. That's correct. Because, yeah, that's what I think. And there's a lot of these up the street. There's another one right there. This one is even more obvious. Again, these drains here, I'm not sure they're new. I'm sure they're just cut. And that's sort of the original duct for the water. It may have been dug down a little, because this, I don't think, was cement. Coincidentally, they built the garage that goes down, because this canal sort of thing was already here. And they have a little bridge, so in case the water does come back here and there, it won't flood the pavement. But this street wasn't here. That's I mean, that's almost for sure. This used to not be a street. In my opinion. I mean, I don't want to come off like I know anything, because I don't. But I have my suspicions. Again, when you take a look at this, you tell me if you don't think something was going on with this building at one time that got erased. Water flowing through it. There's that building again. People behind me. And yeah, like I said, those aqueducts, if you will. Aqueduct. Down, down, down. That aqueduct there. Yeah. Again, we have this is the Dolby building. Hey. This is the Dolby building, and it has a nice little curve and banding. Probably already said that. Those aqueducts are around a lot. They're in lots of places. Especially, funny enough, that's why I came out. Again, I'm almost betting that this whole thing has been taken apart. Because the other thing is, with these side streets that I just showed, all three of them, they're not throughways. So it's very peculiar. So, you know, I hope it was an interesting walk for you, or with you, or with me, or however you want to. I mean, again, all these, look at the background. There's the building there, and there's the other building there, and then there's the gridiron building, or whatever you call it, the gridiron, whatever. And then you have this, which powered probably all those things. Then you have the hole in the ground over there. Then you have the aqueducts where a street never was. And one of the reasons why I think this place is closed is because they put a street here. Now, what do I know? And there's nothing going on there. And by the way, I hope I remember to point these out when I'm saying it now. What's in the back of this place right here is very reminiscent of the chimneys that we see on top of a lot of old world buildings. So I don't know if this building is just sticking out of the ground. I think all these buildings are just sticking out of the ground, the tops of them, you know. And they reclaimed them, like we always say, that they reclaimed them and tore them apart and everything. Now I realize most people aren't gonna, you know, go that way. I totally get it. I'm not so sure myself. That's why I'm taking the camera out and pontificating all this stuff. Because, you know, things bug me. Or bug me is probably the wrong word. As thoughts come into my head, I sort them out. Right? And then logic starts to appear, or consciousness, or intelligence, whichever word you want to use. And then things start to not fit together. And I've lived here so long that lots of questions have gone through my mind. Especially when I know all those, there's like 6 streets going down there, 6 or 7 streets that we were just on, that aren't throughways. Now some would say, oh, they don't want people flying up through traffic. Yeah, I'm sure they use that as an excuse. But what I really don't think they want is a lot of weight on those streets, because it will reveal that there were, we're gonna go, like I said, we're gonna take a look on Google and see what we can see. I think that if those streets start cracking apart, they're gonna reveal something underneath that. You know, first of all, they don't want to repair them, right? It isn't just about keeping secrets. I mean, we say a lot of this stuff. Oh, they want to keep secrets from us, and they don't want us to know, and blah, blah, blah. Well, one of the things really is that once they do something or construct something or build a road or a bridge or whatever, they want to do everything they can to, you know, not build maintenance into the plan. So they don't want it to be too badly wrecked by the public, right? I mean, that's an obvious thing. That is definitely not a stretch to believe. I mean, they don't even like repairing the sidewalks out here when the trees get crazy, like this. Right? That tree's gonna destroy the, well, I mean, it's already coming up. There's lots of places. Look at the size of this thing. How old do you think this tree is? We got trees out here. Man, I should show you some of those. So old, there's no way they put that house up and then built the tree. I mean, there's no way that the tree grew after they put the house up. I did forget to mention all the,
Yeah, I'm originally from New England, Massachusetts. I moved to California a long while ago, 20 years ago. But I was born and raised in Norm Vega.
all the, well, you can see them, the arched windows on this building. I'm probably saying a million times because obviously I have lots of other things on my mind while I'm walking, things I want to say, get to, whatever. More arches. This is the building with the balls on it. It has lots of arches on it. Guess what? Yeah. It's a different building with more balls. So, technically this building and the one that I did show you, let's get it. And the building over here is the one that I showed you with the balls on it, with the curb retaining wall. They're probably one building. Again, I go back to that because these buildings are exactly the same. So the company decided that they would build two buildings exactly the same. See, now can people make arched windows? Yeah, of course. My goodness, I don't want to keep saying it. You know, if you see this video, you just come across it. You know, I'm not an idiot. I've built many things all my life. That's all I've ever done. I've used tools, and I've used my brain and logic, and I've built this world. I have literally built this world. I have literally put some of the most important information into society, whether I liked it or not. You know, I'm an old man. I've had a whole life of working. A lot of it, in my opinion, is useless and nefarious. But we all gotta survive, and some of us have to have really fast cars. nice big apartments and girlfriends and all that sort of stuff, right? So we gotta keep up appearances. We gotta keep the money flowing. And for a guy like me, you know, especially when I was younger, inside my head, nothing mattered but impressing the opposite sex until I grew up. Then I stopped caring about this world, and I think my mentality about what goes on here as a civilization, it got sour. Because the first lie that I ever really encountered, aside from the fact that we don't go around the sun, that came before girls, but women's nature. Women's nature. That is something that every guy thinks is one thing, but is flipped on its head. Let me just put it that way. And I know that there's women who probably watch this, and hey, there are some wonderful women out there. But most of us men don't meet them. And I'm sure you could ask most men, even in my comments. Like I say, not everybody sucks, but most people do. I don't know how I got on all that, but that's fine. You're just taking a walk with me. And I'm just talking or babbling. This building's interesting. It's got huge arches, right? Funny chimneys. If I went across the street, you'd see those funny chimneys. The one thing that intrigues me about this building is it's got really old world chimneys on it. Does that mean anything? I don't know. Again, this building here, I mean, I could do this all day. This building here has the same windows as the church and that building we came from. On the side with all the tech on it, right? Yeah. I mean, like I say, I could take you guys on a much bigger tour through Pasadena, through Pasadena. You should see the stuff that's going on in Pasadena. And Toluca Lake is unbelievable too. Toluca Lake was named that because personally I think most of it was running water right through the city. And I think it was beautiful gardens and stuff. That's what I think. Toluca Lake sounds beautiful, right? That's because it was. If it was Toluca Lake back then, you know, hundreds and hundreds. But we do see names. We do see names coming across time, right? And you know what something else is? This is the kind of sign that we have out here now, right? But back in the day, all these signs, all these street signs, these ones hang. I'm not talking about every single one, but these ones hanging, they used to be triangles and with lights in them. They were like I wish I got some pictures of those, because when I first came out here, I had never seen anything like that. And I wonder how old those are, 40s? Maybe I could find one online when I get home. They were a square triangle, but they had lights in them, and they lit up, and it was the coolest thing I have ever seen. And I just don't know how old those are, but old enough for them not to want to have anything to do with fixing them. Right, so I wonder if the technology was there to fix them. You know, I just wonder. I'm not saying that's true. But they didn't want to put, I don't know, something's going on with it. Just put some bulbs in there and clean them up. Get an electrician in there. No? See, these are the kind of things I find strange. Anyway, thanks for watching.
And there you go. That's my travels. I hope you guys had fun going around this city and looking at the world through a camera and then through YouTube, right? I'm glad you guys have fun. I had fun too, because I love to do this. I wish I had a lot more time to do this. Go running around all over. You're welcome. It's my pleasure, really. I'm much obliged. Okay, I think I'll do something else now. Yeah, Skull, you used to do some filming on your channel. You used to go out, drive around. That was cool. I had a whole thing planned for the beginning. Yeah, Skull still has some buildings. Stuff out in the middle of nowhere made of brick. Very strange stuff. I wish I didn't screw up the beginning of the video, because I had a whole thing planned for the beginning and it was going to be fun, but like I say, so many things hooked up to the Oracle that once something goes wrong, you gotta decipher all that stuff. Now, you can say, dude, why don't you get prepared before you think you are, That's why they call it. It's all screwed up. It shouldn't be all screwed up, but anyway, apologizing doesn't help, because I didn't really get to do the video I wanted to do. Anyway, you guys, thanks again for coming by. I really appreciate it. I may not put up this live stream. Was downtown yesterday thinking how much there's... Oh, everywhere you go, right? I always wish I had a camera with me, because I never bring my phone anywhere. I'm not a phone miser. I never bring my phone anywhere. And if I do have something, it's usually a camera, a good quality camera, Oh, thank you, Super. You're probably right. I don't know, like I said, if I'm going to actually put up the live stream. This video is already recorded, so DNA, thank you. You like the channel name. I have lots of stuff that you can check out on my channel. But Super, back to what you were saying. Yeah, you're probably right. All that stuff that I prepared was probably... I concur. This is probably exactly what it was supposed to be. Skull, what link is that? Thought of the song Alameda. Dana, thanks for stopping by. No, man, my channel gets in trouble when I can't cross the lines, right? Can't cross the lines. Yeah, Elliot Smith. Talking about that Judas Priest album, Screaming for Vengeance, you might not get all the nuances just listening to it a couple of times. I've been listening to it since the 80s, since it came out. And, so it grows on you, and you think about the lyrics, and you run over it in your mind a lot, and then you go see them in concert, and then you listen to the song, you listen to the album, half of your life, and you start to really pick up what those guys wrote about in the songs. I just wanted to go back to that because they wrote an album about now. It's really unfortunate because I've said this to guys a lot. Back in the 80s, my brother and friends and my cousin and my little group, we used to laugh about how bad things are gonna get. We used to say, "Oh, I hope we're dead before that happens" and stuff. But a couple of them are dead, and they don't know how bad it got. But for the rest of us who are here, it ain't funny anymore. It's not funny. Oh yeah, you'll find that Priest album. It's no secret, Hey Dana, if you don't mind me asking you, how'd you find this live stream? Did you just come across it, or are you a subscriber? Super. Are you a subscriber? I just like to know because I don't know who's subscribed to me. I have channels that I really, really like, and I would like to think that they were subscribed to me. But you know what? I doubt it, I don't have that many subscribers, 200 maybe. Yeah, I saw you say that you met me through Skull. A lot of people did, actually. I think Skull is my main contributor to my subs. And I super appreciate it. That's good. Thank you, Dana. I like the name as well. I think it is catchy, and I'm glad that you said that because that makes me feel like I'm heading in the right direction. Although most of the stuff that I do on my channel, I'm not really looking for a pat on the back or much, I don't expect much, what will be the word? I don't expect much exposure. Because the more exposure I get for stuff, the kind of videos that I do, I don't think that YouTube likes that very much, right? I'm super grateful for everybody here too. I really appreciate everybody who's come tonight and seen spent some time with us here tonight, because it's not just spending time with me. The more people in the comments, the better conversations we can have, the more things we can discover, the more love we can spread, right? I saw an interesting thing about the Beatles, how people, the imposters, and who got changed and who really played on the records and all this stuff. So they were giving the guy who's playing Paul McCartney, they were kind of riding him a little bit about all these things. And he finally says, you know, the Beatles' whole thing and all the songs that we wrote were about love. So the rest of it really doesn't matter. And I thought that was a brilliant thing to sort of shut all that stuff down and give the Beatles sort of a reason to be, right? Now, the unfortunate thing for that is that I think it's probably a lot of nefarious things going on behind the scenes. It's too bad, but he's right about that. So I'm going to get out of here. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll talk to you again.